Okay, welcome yogis, namaste. My name is Eric and this is an hour of gentle / beginner yoga. So just find a tall, comfortable seat. Close your eyes. We'll begin with box breathing. It's such a beautiful way to bring yourself into balance. So I'll guide us through that. There's a little pause at the top of the in-breath and a pause at the bottom of the out-breath. So just to begin, take a full deep breath all the way in and let it out. And then you'll inhale for 3, 2, 1. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Exhale 3, 2, 1. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Inhale 3, 2, 1. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Exhale 3, 2, 1. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Inhale 3, 2, 1. Hold 3, 2, 1. Exhale 3, 2, 1. Hold 3, 2, 1. Last cycle. Inhale 3, 2, 1. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Exhale 3, 2, 1. Hold for 3, 2, and 1. Big breath in. And let it out. With your eyes closed, just a few shoulder shrugs. Awesome. Great. And then draw your hands to heart center. Set your intention for your practice. And then slowly open your eyes. So anyway, cross-legged is fine. Sit up nice and tall, inhale, and then twist to your right side, exhale. So your right hand is behind you to help you sit tall, and your left hand is just outside of your right thigh. And then for a little bit more interesting work, actually try and hover your hand off of the thigh bone so that you're twisting really from the rotational muscles of the spine. And then to bring the pelvis a bit more into neutral, move your right knee slightly forward. That'll steer the pelvis forward, and then take the movement higher up the spine. Good. Now turn your head to face forward and over your left shoulder, and then pull the chin in just slightly to find some space on the right side of the neck. Keep rotating the trunk, the rib cage. And then stack your chin over your sternum, your breastbone, and unwind the spine to come forward. Take an inhalation and twist to your left. And then perhaps you hover your right hand. And make sure that you move your left knee slightly forward so that your sitting bones are side by side, because often when we twist, one sitting bone moves back and the other moves forward. So we want to recreate the same alignment of our sitting bones in a twist that we have when we're facing forward. Now rotate the head to face over your right shoulder. Pull the chin in just slightly. Take some breath into your belly. Deep inhale. Let it out. We're going to do one more cycle of breath. Full breath in and exhale. Turn your chin so it stacks over your breastbone, and then release your spine. Now, whichever shin was in front, just cross. So the other shin comes in front. Hands to your knees for seated cat-cow. Inhale, open up through your chest. Great way to access the lymphatic glands in your throat. And exhale, tuck your chin to round. We're going to do that again. Inhale, lift. And exhale, tuck the chin, round your back. One more for good measure. Inhale, narrow the shoulder blades. And exhale to round. Okay, nice and tall. Do make sure that your strap or whatever you're going to use to grab hold of your foot is relatively nearby. We're not going to use it right away, but it's just good to have it handy because it's a few poses ahead. So we're going to start an ecstatic lizard lunge, which for a lot of us will be really uncomfortable, but it's very relaxing on the other side, really good for the hips. So bring your left foot forward, and it's outside of your left wrist. And then I'd move the right knee back again. And if your back knee is a bit tender, you can put your blanket or whatever under your back knee. And then take your hands up to your left thigh, your front thigh. Draw the tailbone down just slightly and allow yourself to melt forward. So we're going to do 3 kind of longer held lunges on each side. And then there will be, because they're longer and hold, the intention is not to go as deep as possible. So we want to only kind of have moderate sensation in the hips so that it's a slow and patient unraveling of any dense fascia. You might feel this the front of the right thigh or the outer left hip. It's a really smooth, patient breath. We're just going to do 3 more breaths. Okay, and now take your hands down inside of your left foot. Now, arms can be straight. If it makes sense at any point to bend your elbows and come to your forearms, you can. Eventually, you'll have the option to roll the left thigh away from the midline, but for now, just kind of keep the knee more or less stacked over the heel. It'll be a little bit wider, and that's okay, but just for these first few breaths, we're going to let the tissue adjust. So a lot of different parts of your hips are being mobilized and accessed in this pose. Some bodies will have a tendency to have more yield in one part of the hip or one hip than the other. So if there's one part that just wants to keep giving and giving and stretching and opening, maybe dial that back a little bit just to allow for opening in another part. More or less, I'm saying take the less obvious route. Now, if it feels right to let your left thigh roll away from the midline, maybe come into the outer edge of your left foot, you can experience that for yourself. Some of you might just be thinking, though, like, it feels like nothing is yielding. And that's okay too. That is the just one of the many cycles that we flow through in the nature of the universe. We have moments and times where we feel as if nothing is yielding. And first and foremost, in those moments, the best decision that we can make and offer ourselves is to breathe. To breathe and to love ourselves as deeply as possible. So that when things finally do yield, and they will, we're able to act more wisely. Take one more inhale. And exhale. Okay, so first bind. Strap up your back foot, lasso it up somehow. And you're going to reach back with your left hand to grab the right foot. So you can grab it with the strap. You might not even need the strap, but you can just pull the foot in. This is the last one on this side. We don't want to have sensation that's hyperlocal. We want broader sensation. Hyperlocal often means we're sitting in the joints, so back out of the joints. This one is the toughest one for me, so I constantly need to remind myself to breathe in these longer poses. It's a very similar concept to meditation in that it isn't necessarily about having your attention on the breath all the time or breathing all the way through. The practice is to notice when the mind has wandered and then come back. The practice is to notice when we stopped breathing and then come back. The practice is coming back again and again and again. Three more breaths. Slowly release the back foot. Come onto your both hands. Lift the back knee and then pull the hips back. We're going to do that 3 times. So come forward to flush into your hips. And then glide back. And one more time, come forward. When we glide back, it's a little hold. Now, it's okay if your left knee is slightly bent. Okay. Awesome job. Come forward into your lunge. Now, make sure your left toes are pointing straight forward. So you can just step all the way forward to the front of the mat. Grab opposite elbows. Feet are parallel. Bend your knees pretty deeply. We'll come to the second side. So widen the right foot and step your left foot all the way back. Pad the knee somehow if you would benefit from that. And then come up to your kneeling lunge on the second side. Relax through the shoulders. Eyes can be open or closed. Most of our body's dense connective tissue, I believe something like 80%, is in our hips. So there's a lot going on right down here. And these three poses get into a lot of it. And a lot of research that's come out in the past 10 years or so, more and more, is suggesting that our fascia and connective tissue is part of the nervous system. And when an experience happens that is too tense for the brain to process in real time, it gets trapped, stuck in our tissues for processing down the road, but we don't process it. So it just stays there, which is one of the reasons it's not uncommon to shed some tears or have an emotional release in a hip pose. Sometimes you might think of something that you haven't thought of in a while and make peace with it. Or shift perspective on an issue in your life. Three more breaths. And we'll take the hands down to the inside of the right foot. And you can be straight on your arms or lower to your elbows, resting on your forearms. If there's a lot of resistance and a lot of tension, it's common for the breath when you enter the pose to be really quick or not able to hold it, or just completely holding it, really suspended breath. So I find in some poses when I'm breathing really deeply or quickly, because it's so confronting, it takes me probably about 8 to 10 breaths before I can really start slowing the breath process down. It's this little mental feedback loop where the brain tells the body, breathe slowly. And then the slow breath tells the body, you're safe. And then when the body feels safe, the mind relaxes again. And the cycle continues. So it all initiates with your higher self reminding you, take those deep breaths. Everything will fall into place. If it feels right to let the right thigh roll away from the midline, you can explore that. Okay, final 3 breaths. And then find your bind. Right arm will reach back. Catch the left foot. Give yourself permission for a deep belly breath. We had an especially powerful full moon a few days ago. Just in the days leading up to it and even the days after it, it looked like it was a full moon for 5 days in a row. It was pretty intense. And everyone I was talking to was like, how are you doing? Just felt like everyone was going through something, feeling a bit more challenged or on edge than usual, which is, I've noticed to be pretty common around the full moon. So in our asana practice, our yoga practice, when the moon is full, we focus more on hip openers because they help us to feel more grounded, more connected to the earth. We're able to take breaths more easily. And in fact, those breaths occur lower in the belly, which will activate your parasympathetic nervous system more so. I'm going to do 3 more breaths. Good. And slowly release the back foot all the way down. Come high on your hands. Press into both feet to lift your left knee up. Inhale. And first of 3 times, glide your hips back any amount. Exhale. Bend both knees. Breathe in. It's like you're rinsing your hips. Soak and squeeze. Exhale, draw back. And once more, inhale forward. When we draw back, we're going to hold briefly. You can let your head go. Remember, it's okay to have a little bend in the front knee as much as you need to. And then re-bend your front knee. Make sure your pinky toe is pointing forward, so the toes are pointing forward. Shift your weight forward and take a fold. It's a ragdoll. Bend your knees deeply. Grab opposite elbows. Let your head hang. Heavy in your feet. Okay, now point your toes out so they drip out. Drip off the edges of the mat and come to sit into a squat. Malasana. Hands come to your heart. Sit nice and tall if you can. Okay. And then take the hands behind you. Bring your bum to the earth. Scooch back as much as you need to. And with the hands behind you, windscreen wiper the legs side to side. So this really key flushing of your hip. So one thigh goes into full external rotation, one goes into deep internal rotation, left to right. Awesome. And then extend both legs forward so they're long and roll the toes left to right, side to side, side to side. Nicely done. Okay, step both feet in so they're hip width apart. Have your strap or whatever you're using and drape it just around the front of the ankles, around the front of the shins. You can carry that, hold that as you roll down, or you can roll down and then grab it, but you're just gonna roll all the way down to your back. So heels come in just about enough so that your fingertips could potentially touch the tips of your heels. And then tuck your tailbone down, press into your heels. As you inhale, lift up, and then arms will pull against your shins, and your shins will move forward. And then lower bone by bone all the way back down and untuck the tailbone. Take a breath in. Exhale, tuck the tailbone and peel yourself all the way up. You'll inhale at the top of the pose and exhale, lower all the way down, untuck the tailbone at the bottom of the pose. Breathe in, lift your pelvic floor like you're interrupting the flow of urine, and then exhale, tuck the tailbone and roll all the way up, using the arms to pull. Now we're gonna hold here in this one, tuck the shoulders underneath if that's appropriate. Keep pulling with your arms, press your shins forward, send your hips high. Take one more breath in at the top and exhale, lower all the way down, untuck your tailbone, breathe in and breathe out. Okay, set the strap off to the side, hug your knees into your chest and gently roll side to side, left to right. You can keep that action of rolling side to side, left to right, or hands to the backs of your thighs as you start to rock and roll up and down the spine, massaging at the tissue along the back of the body. And let's all make our way to tabletop posture, come up to all fours. So you've got 4 points of contact, and we're gonna get heavier first in the right hand, and then the right knee, and then the left knee, and then the left hand. Right hand, right knee, left hand, right hand. It sounds a little bit like Twister, right? Just feel how the load is moving through your body from one point to the other. So the load is traveling through the shoulders, the hips, even the organs are transferring load. Change direction. As you pay attention to how the sensation shifts, notice that the breath might flow just a bit more naturally because we're really examining our relationship with the earth. And when we're connected to the earth, breath will flow more naturally. Just when we're grounded, it happens on its own. You're more likely to be taking really natural, beautiful breaths if you're on a picnic blanket, out in the sunshine on the grass, than you would be if you were watching TV, which there's nothing wrong with watching TV. I'm just saying, like, kind of your body will respond a bit more when it's in relation to earth. Okay, from your tabletop posture, move your right knee forward a few inches so that your right toes are in line with the center of your left shin. Yeah. And then from here, crouch back, pull your hips back. The first one we'll do a bit slower, and then we'll start to feel a bit more into the pattern. Bring your weight forward, shoulders forward, and then step your right foot way back, pull your hips and your shoulders back. And then come forward, knee pulls into your chest. Step the foot down and crouch back, right? So knee comes forward and then send the right foot back, crouch, right leg is long, knee pulls in, set the foot down and crouch back. So get into the flow of that a few more times. And when you are in your end positions, whether it's the crouch or your right leg is long, don't fully relax. So keep a little bit of kinetic energy in your body so you're ready to rebound into the next shape. Because if you were to just go fully passive or pause, it's going to take a lot more energy to transition from one shape to the next. It's a bit like pressing a spring down. It's not passive, it's ready to bounce. Okay, so we're going to mix it up. Right knee comes in, threads around to the outer edge of your left knee, pull back. And then right knee to chest, step back. Pull the right knee in, thread it around, sit back. Beautiful hip opener, exploring that same idea of the kinetic energy storing up. One more time. Great. And then knees side by side. We're going to go right to the second side. So bring your left knee forward. Your left foot is toes are more or less in line with the center of the right calf. Crouch back. And then pull the knee in and step back. Pull the knee in, crouch back. Shift forward, step back. Shift forward, crouch back. And then notice again, right? What's the pattern of the breath? Is it happening with relative ease? It's really about trusting your body here, not because it's going to feel, it's kind of a weird as it is as a movement. It's going to have a natural feeling to it, an intuitive feeling to it. So you don't need to overthink it too much. Okay. Next time we'll thread the left leg around the right. And yes, we're working the hips, but hey, we're also working the shoulders, moving from extension in and out of extension. Let's just do 3 more. And even your ankles getting that little bit of work. Last one. Good. And then tabletop. Tabletop all the way back to child's pose, forehead down. And then come up to all fours, curl the toes under, send your hips nice and high, downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, easy walk all the way forward to the front of the mat. Halfway lift, pull the heart forward. And exhale, fold, soften your knees. Root to rise, reach the arms up towards the sky. And hands to heart center. Okay, feet come hip width apart. I'll show you this from front on and then from side on. Sit back into your chair pose. So bum moves back. Inhale. And then curl your upper back. You're still squatting back. Exhale. Cross the arms. Sweep them up towards the sky. Lift your heels. Inhale. And hands by the side. Lower the heels. Exhale. Sit back into your chair pose. Breath in. Round your upper back, curl forward. Exhale. Cross the arms, sweep them up. Breath in, heels lift, and hands by your side. One more, sit back, chair pose. Inhale. Round the upper back, exhale. Cross and open the arms, lift your heels, stand tall, breath in, and hands by the side, breath out. Inhale, lift the arms overhead. Exhale, fold forward, release. Halfway lift, pull the heart forward. Right foot steps all the way back. Lower the knee, exhale. Float the arms towards the sky, big breath in. Downward facing dog. Exhale, step back. From your dog pose, body rolls forward, plank or plank on the knees. Lower all the way down to your belly. Exhale. We're going to do 3 baby cobras. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale to lift. And exhale, lower. One more time. Lift, breath in. Exhale, lower. Press to all fours, belly engaged, and downward facing dog. Exhale. Float the right leg up towards the sky. You might have a little bit more room than usual because we did all that great hip work at the front of the class. And exhale, step your foot between your hands, big step. This time rise to high crescent lunge. Come all the way up. Okay, feel the outer hips start to squeeze in like they're compact. Keep that quality as you take your left arm forward and your right arm back for a twist. 2 more breaths. High on your back heel. Good. Back to high crescent lunge. Inhale, lift. Ground the outer edge of your back foot down as you spin open warrior 2. Hold in your warrior 2. Pelvis is getting heavy, but there's still that little bit of capacity for it to rebound, to lift up if needed. Awesome job. Let's take extended side angle. Bring the right elbow down. Left arm comes over the ear. Good. And actually take your left arm kind of, maybe not straight up, but maybe a little bit on a diagonal. And then bend your left knee, your back knee, to shift a bit more weight to your left foot. And then rebend the right knee to shift weight to your right foot. And then bend the left knee, straighten the right slightly. So you just back and forth, shift weight from one foot to the other. And see if you can feel the load, the kinetic energy move through your pelvis as you shift from one foot to the other. Come back to warrior 2. Pivot back to high crescent lunge. Your left heel will lift. Reach the arms up towards the sky. Take your time as you step forward. Big step. Fold in front of the mat. Halfway lift. Pull the heart forward. And relax the belly. Fold. Release. Reach the arms out, up, and overhead. And hands to heart center. Exhale. Second side. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift, breathe in. Step your left foot all the way back. And lower the left knee. Reach the arms towards the sky. Let your hips melt forward. Breath in at the top of the pose. Downward facing dog. Step back. Breath in and out. Body comes forward, plank pose, knees or no knees, and exhale, lower all the way down. Let's do locust this time. So arms reach back, hover your chest, maybe you'll hover your legs. Pull the low belly in, take 2 more deep breaths. Inhale 1, exhale. Inhale 2, and a child's pose. Exhale. Come on back to your hips. Bring your forehead down. Come forward to all fours and downward facing dog. Exhale. Okay, so your left leg, lift it nice and slow, long, controlled movement. And then step your foot all the way through, huge step. Rise to high crescent lunge, nice and tall. High on your back heel. Start to feel your outer hips become compact. They pull in. Keep them that way as you reach the right arm forward and the left arm back. So the hips haven't changed. What's changed is our rib cage, our shoulders. Okay. Back to high crescent lunge. Breathe in. Ground your back foot down. Warrior two. I'd like to get a little bit longer in my warrior two. Try and even out the weight so it's even in both feet. You're not letting the pelvis drop all the way down. There's just a little bit of rebounding. Good. And then left elbow to the left thigh. Take the right arm over the ear once just to get nice and long. And then not quite straight up, but maybe somewhere between your 2 points. And then bend your back knee to shift the weight to your back foot. And then rebend your front foot. So just shift the weight back and forth. And see if you can find that feeling of the weight traveling through the pelvis. So you're heavy on one foot and then heavy in the other foot. Awesome. Come to side angle. Rise to warrior two. Try to have equal weight again in both feet. It's nice grounding quality. Breathe in and breathe out. Turn to high crescent lunge. Right heel lifts up. Sweep the arms up towards the sky. Step forward and fold. Halfway lift. Fold again, exhale. Root to rise, take the arms out, up and overhead. Lift up and hands to heart center. Okay, feet hip width apart, palms forward. Take the arms up towards the sky, grab hold of your right wrist, and then a big side bend. Really press down into your right foot. So it's rooting into the earth. And then come up, switch to the other side. Press down now into your left foot. And then come up. Keep the arms lifted. We're going to do 10 heel raises. So inhale, lift, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, 3, exhale. Inhale, 4, exhale. Inhale, 5, exhale. Inhale, 6, exhale. Inhale, 7, exhale. Inhale, 8, exhale. Inhale, 9, inhale, and 10. Okay, standing on, I'm gonna try my best to mirror this because it's a lot of left and rights. Standing on your right leg, pick up your left foot, start to send your left leg back and reach the left arm forward. And then bring your left foot back, send the left arm back, reach your right arm forward. Good. And then take your arms out wide as you rotate the leg, flex the foot. Okay, bring the leg back to neutral, send your left leg back, left arm forward. Bring your left leg forward, left arm back. Take the arms wide, rotate the foot, flex the foot, Good. We'll do one more time. Send the left leg back, left arm forward, right arm back. Bring the left leg forward, send the left arm back. And then arms come nice and wide. Flex your foot. So let's take tree pose. Place the foot above or below the knee, never on the knee, and hands to your heart. Could be where you stay, or take the right arm up. So you have this diagonal of energy from your right hand to your left knee. So feel that line all the way through. And you could also do the same from your left hand to your right hip. So working your diagonal lines. And then release and give yourself a little shake. Okay, second side. Stand on your left leg, start to hover your right. Lean forward, reach your left arm forward, right arm back. And then pull your left foot forward, send your left arm back. Lean forward. Sorry, right foot back, right arm forward. And then right leg comes forward, right arm back, left arm forward. Spiral the leg, take the arms nice and wide. Okay, send the right leg back, right arm forward. Switch. Widen and spiral. One more time. Right leg back, right arm forward, left arm back. Switch the arms, pull the leg in. Take the arms wide, spiral the foot, flex the foot, and then place it for your tree pose, either above or below the knee. Once you're stable in your tree pose, consider taking your left arm up on a diagonal, and then maybe your right. Couple of deep breaths. And then release, give yourself a nice shake. Okay, top of the mat. Reach the arms all the way up towards the sky. Exhale, fold forward. Halfway lift. Step back, high plank pose, top of a push-up. Breathe in, get long. Exhale, lower all the way down to your belly. One more back bend on the belly. This time, maybe you interlace fingers. Peel the chest off the floor. Ground your pubic bone down. Maybe you lift the legs. Inner thighs, spiral up. Lower back really long and spacious. One more breath in. Child's pose. Exhale, draw back. And then come forward, cross your ankles, lie all the way back to your back body. We're going to reach for the strap, whatever we have. Bend both knees. And before we even go into the strap, I just want you to notice that you've got a little bit of room under your low back. You could probably slide a pencil under there. It's a natural lumbar curve, and we want to keep the natural lumbar curve rather than flatten it out, which could happen if we're not paying attention. Also notice your hips, the lateral hips, the outer edges of your hips. Usually when we pull a leg in, one hip tends to hike up. So we're in neutral. We want to keep neutral. That's our priority here. All right, strap up your right foot and extend the right leg up towards the sky. So if we kind of stop paying attention, the lumbar curve would have flattened. We want to have that little tiny lumbar curve and keep the right and the left sitting bones, outer hip bones in line. Push your foot up into the strap so it's tight like a guitar string, and then pull the strap with your arms and your biceps so that your leg has resistance to push into. This resistance is really useful in helping us not only get strong, but also more mobile and more open. Depending on your flexibility, your range of motion, it might feel appropriate to straighten your left leg so it's long. And if that's the case, really press through the left heel and be heavy in your left thigh, like there's a sandbag or a little baby elephant sitting on your left thigh. Keep breathing in and out. Good. Now gather the strap in your right hand, left arm out by the side. Take the right leg wide. You're opening the groins. Now keep the left hip really heavy. Keep the left hip and left thigh really heavy. Keep pushing your foot into the strap. Okay, one more breath in. One more breath out. Inhale, come up through center. Same leg, just switch the hands. So now hold the strap with your left hand. Relax the right arm. And you can take the leg over a little or a lot. And I'm not going to say that one is going to be like more appropriate or hardcore. You just kind of have to decide for yourself what's going to yield a more positive and useful sensation. Do keep your outer right hip rolling down rather than hiking up. Keep the strap tight like a guitar string. One more breath in and breathe out. Okay, bring the leg all the way up. Bend the knee, give it a good squeeze. And very briefly lie on your back. So I tend to notice right away, oh, I feel such a difference in one side. So maybe you notice some little subtle changes. And let's do side B. Step the feet in. Strap up your left foot. Okay, keep the lumbar curve natural. A little bit of space there. And if it makes sense to straighten your right leg, please do. Press through the heel. Try to keep the shoulders away from your ears. Actually plug the backs of your shoulders into the earth. It'll lift the sternum a little bit. It's a natural lumbar curve. I'll keep reminding it because we tend to lose it really quickly. Outer left hip drawing down, and strap is tight. A lot of resistance there. And of course, breath, breath, breath. If the right thigh is long, keep the thigh heavy. And now gather the strap in your left hand, release the right arm, take the left leg out wide. Still have your lumbar curve, right thigh anchored down. You've got a little baby elephant sitting on your right thigh. And then inhale, come up through center. Very last side. Gather the strap in your right hand. Relax the left arm. The leg can come over a little or a lot. And then inhale through center. Remove the strap. Hug your left knee. Give it a good squeeze. And then extend both legs. Shake the pelvis a little bit side to side. Relax the arms, palms face up. Close your eyes. Let your body be really heavy. Your muscles of the face soft. Let your heel bones melt into the earth. Shavasana. Slow, deep inhale. Let it out. Start to move the body a little bit side to side. And very patiently, almost sweetly, press yourself to a final seat, eyes closed. Hands to heart center. Thank your mind, your body, and your breath. Thank you for showing up today. The light in me honors the light in each of you. Namaste.